operate on your smartphone, whether it's an Android device or an Apple smartphone. Here you can see on the screen I have a simulation of my Android smartphone. It operates very similar in both types of applications. So first of all, you can see on the apps here I've got an iPCS application. So if I click on that application, it will open up the iPCS app. Now at the top here you can see there's a little grey box. It's not ticked. So if I tick that, I can enable it to become live, and that would now register to the system and operate as my normal extension number. If, however, I'm working from home though and I wish to have it permanently set to Wi-Fi, you can see here there's a Wi-Fi lock. So I'll just disable it, turn on my Wi-Fi lock and turn it on again to make sure it stays onto the Wi-Fi lock. And now it will run happily at home or in the office using my registered Wi-Fi. The server option here is where you can enter the details that allows the application to set up on the telephone system. Your reseller will provide you with the information as the details that will be entered into here, and you'd go into these various fields and complete the various information here, and as I say, they will cover that for you. Now, to see whether the application is registered and working okay, because we've enabled it, if I go down to my favourites at the bottom here and click on my favourites, there you can see the 4 park slots that come as standard, and you can see users on the system, and you can see Paul and Pete are both busy there because they're red, and as I scroll up and down, see other people are idle. If I wish to call any person, so if I wish to say, for example, call Gary there on 723 in the middle, I can just click on Gaza and it now starts to call Gary. If I want to end the call, I hit the red key and I end the call. It's as simple as that. If I was to receive a call, so by receiving a call, I can then answer the call and perhaps transfer it. So I'll just receive a call. A call will come in and the application will show. So extension 10,002 is ringing me, so I can just answer, click to answer. I'm now on a call. I can mute the call. Mute it. I can put it onto loudspeaker. I can add another call, or I can go to a keypad if I just want to dial another user. So if I do plus, that's now going to bring up a keypad and I can dial another user. Or if I wouldn't want to go back, I could simply go down to the bottom here and press my favourites, and by selecting a member of my favourite list, so perhaps Gary again, I can click on Gary and it's now calling Gary. I could put the call straight through to Gary by clicking that arrow and I've transferred it through to him. So that's an unannounced transfer has gone through to Gary. If I wish to look at my call history, see along the bottom here is the second icon along. So I hit on my hit the call history key. You can see there's that outbound call I just made to Gary. It wasn't answered, so it was red because he didn't answer the call, even though I transferred it unannounced. It probably went through to the voicemail, perhaps. Oh, he's calling me back, so I'll just reject that, and that put him through to my voicemail. Here you can see there's a voicemail in the list here from extension 10,002 from earlier. That was at 12:25. There's that call I just rejected from Gary. He didn't go through to my voicemail. He obviously saw the rejection and just hung up. But if I go to my voicemail at the third one down, I can then call that person back, play the message or delete the message. If I press play, it's now going in, and I can then click on the keypad to follow any commands. So for example, 3 would be to delete it, so I could delete it from there and then end the call. If I go back into my call history list, you can see that voicemail is now gone. Remember, it was third one down. It's now disappeared because I chose to delete the voicemail message. If I want to get hold of Mark here, for example, I can just click on here and call Mark, or I want to call Gary back, click and call Gary. You think I'm messing around, but I'll just call him again. So I can see there's his history. I can click on the call key, call him, drop the call. Simple as that. If I want to go into my contacts along the bottom, I can go into either system contacts or phone contacts. So if I click on my phone, I can then scroll up and down and see people within my phone contacts and click on any of those to call them, or go into the system. So on the system, it's asking me to enter a name rather than scrolling up and down. So if I type in, for example, Robin here, I can see Robins, and the more I type in, the more detail, the more names will come up. So Robin Heyman, Marketing Director there. If I click on Robin, I'll see his internal number, then other numbers that are associated with him, and I can call him on any of those. If I click on 705, I'm now calling him. And again, I can then hit the red button to drop the call. So that's another way of calling people, whether they're internal or external. If I go to my settings button, and there's a couple features here to look at. So do not disturb, for example. So I want to put myself on do not disturb. I've now activated do not disturb. So if anyone calls me, if I've got voicemail enabled, calls will go straight through to voicemail. If I had a call forward set, then it would follow my forwarding rules. So I can turn that on or off. If I want to forward calls, perhaps I don't want to be on the smartphone app. I'm just going out and I just want calls to divert to mobile rather than having the app on. I can set, for example, divert mode. Hit on divert mode so on all my personal calls. So I've now activated. If I go back in, you can see there. So personal. So if anyone rings me on my DDI, my direct dial number, or my internal extension number, then that's activated to forward, and I just choose now where I want to forward it to. So divert to, and I'm going to choose to send it to my mobile. So now I've got a forward to my mobile activated. If I just go back into that divert mode, you see there's a couple of other options. The personal we just described. The dual personal, if I have a desk phone and I want calls to ring my mobile at the same time, then I can have dual personal turned on. So I've got my calls forwarded to my mobile, but I also want it to ring my desk phone rather than the app. I can have all, so if it's in a hunt group, perhaps a reception group, or say a sales hunt group where all phones ring at once, or in a cyclic or rotary fashion, then I can have all calls ringing out, so both department calls and personal calls would ring. And if I want the desk phone and my forwarding to activate at the same time, I do the dual all. So dual all in both modes for personal calls and personal and group calls is activated by using the dual. If I only wanted them to go direct to the device and not still ring my desk phone, I wouldn't use the dual, I just use the personal or the all. Hope that makes sense on there, and then cancel to come out of there. Out of office, further down you see there's out of office. Out of office allows you to go into your voicemail and to record different greetings. So if you was going on holiday, you could dial into voicemail, which is typically dialing 1571. That will take you into your voicemail, and you hear some options of how to set your out of office greetings. By recording your out of office greetings, they're then set, and then if I want to then activate, say, the holiday one, because I said I was on holiday from the 1st of August to the 29th of August, then simply by clicking on the holiday greeting, it will play that greeting that I recorded. So anyone now calls me, they go, if I especially put my divert on as well, calls are automatically going to go through to voicemail. They get the holiday greeting. I come off a holiday, I'm going to take the do not disturb off, and I take the on holiday greeting off as well. So I put myself back into office, and you just get my standard everyday greeting. Hope that makes sense. Thank you for your time.